welcome to another Art Around the City Artist Spotlight. This week I'm joined by Julie Tyslicky.
Hello.
Julie is a drawing instructor and has been creating drawings for over 54 years. And we're very grateful that several of those years have included classes here at Studio 23 and continue to. She tends to draw organic subjects, which often include vibrant colors, as with her series of Pudding Stone and Autumn Leaf drawings. Her work also focuses on movement and creating the appearance that things are moving, tumbling, or falling. Julie's recently been awarded Best of Show in Studio 23's My Artist All-State Juried exhibit for her colored pencil drawing, It's Raining Puddins 2. And she also won the People's Choice Award at this year's Art Walk and Art Battle in Mount Pleasant. You can find a reproduction of Julie's work as a part of our Art Around the City project located on the side of the Doubletree Hotel here in downtown Bay City, just south of Wenona Park. Thank you, Julie, for being here and for sharing your skill and some of your process with us.
You're welcome. I enjoy doing this. So, a lot of times I just work from these are rocks that I picked up from Lake Superior, and I polished some of them. Some of these are not. I have a photograph this time because my next series I'm doing has to do with the hands picking them up, and you know, my pieces being really just about the rocks, even though with hands it's not officially just about the rocks. However, the process of picking those rocks out and being attracted to certain kinds and then bringing them home and then deciding to put them in there can kind of be a personal type thing, at least I see it. But a lot of people like them because it gives a sense of security or calmness. So what I have this time for us is I made these boards. So with colored pencil, you really shouldn't, at least I don't think you should. I'm sure there's people who will argue with me on that. I don't use graphite pencil because when the graphite mixes with the colored pencil, then you end up with an outline, and then you have something that I call coloring book. And my drawings aren't coloring books, so I don't want that edge in there. I want to be able to smooth it and make it look more realistic. And so then the quandary is, what do I do in order to have a grid? Well, these boards, as you see, have got little cut marks every half inch, so that I can adjust my grid to however I want it to be. And then this is thread. So I wrap it around, and then when I'm done, like in this one, I just pull the thread off and no erasing. So then the other thing I do is carefully consider the paper that I'm using. So on portrait, this is Strathmore mixed media. I think it's like a 140, 180 pounds, something like that. It's a mixed media paper. It's called toned blue. However, it is jade green. So you have to think about the color of paper that you put up underneath your stuff, because if you don't, it'll change the color of your pencils, and you'll never get the color that you actually want. With the green, because when I do portraits, I want to lay down reds with this green, because the green will actually show through that pink and create my shadows, like in here. You can see here where I haven't blended it yet, where you've got, I've got red and green in here that's going to be in for the shadow around the neck. Because color pencils are translucent, so you can see through them, through all layers basically. So as you're building them, one layer on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, they blend. So as you can see here, I chose Tan paper, not so much, and I took these pictures, so I did put tan paper underneath here, but not so much because I want a background, because there won't be one here, but more so because this yellow paper will help me build the skin tone on my model's hands. Since he has some darker skin here, starting with purple and then layering the complementary color of yellow on top of that, then I end up getting a better skin tone than just pulling a flesh tone out. Because if I just pulled a flesh tone out, it would turn more orange. And then I'd be playing catch up to find out how to change that color into his skin tone. So by mixing these colors here with, and these are the purple and the yellow I'm using, then I can get a better skin tone overall. And sharp pencils, always sharp pencils, so that when I go and lay this peach tone over top, you see how it can blend. And it'll look more natural in the long run. So I use the color wheel when I teach also for complementary colors, so that you have more vibrant. I believe you get more vibrancy in that than just pulling something out. I don't use a lot of black, I mix black. So these three colors right here, indigo blue, dark green, and Tuscan red, will make black. As you can see over on this portrait in this area, and depending on what color you put down first will give you a different tone, so that you can switch it from a cool value or a hue to a warm hue, depending on what you're looking for. So these are my go-to for darks. And again, I use a lot of complementary colors. So even when I'm making the stones, the first thing I do is really look at the stone and see what colors are in there. So for this, I see a lot of dark greenish blue. So I'd probably end up using these two and that, and more than likely this, to get this color. And then this has a lot of the other colors in there, but it's all modeled kind of like a granite in through here. So finding the layers really are quite, I think that's fun. And really, if you get something too dark, it really is easy to make it lighter. So I can go and put white in through here if I don't. And by the way, this is not what I would do normally with this area because it is a dark area. But just for the sake of argument, I can come back and put this Tuscan red in, and then go in with this green. And now you say, oh, but it looks green now. Yeah, so it won't stay that way. So where I have the green showing through, its complementary color is going to be this Tuscan red here. And when I put the blue over top of it, you can see how that kind of blends in. And then if I go back over it with this purple and yellow again, You can kind of see the beginning of that skin tone right there showing up here by blending and layering the colors. And that's kind of how I teach my color pencil class, because if you're doing anything and you pick up the wrong color pencil, and you put something on there, and how many of you have put the wrong color paint on, you're trying to mix the color and it doesn't work because you've got the wrong hue of red or the wrong hue of blue, and you don't want to go back to the store and spend 20 bucks. So how do you adjust it? Well, you can change the red or you can change the blue. So knowing what color you've got on here or adding something to it to either neutralize it a little bit or change it a little bit will help you save some frustration in the end, because we all do that. I mean, I do. I pick up the wrong color and then go, crap, now what do I do? Well, what color have I got that I've mixed down in here? Let me go and find, now it looks like it's an orange red. So then I'm going to look for a bluish green, because that's what the complementary color will be, to be able to neutralize that color, and then you can go over it and adjust it. So again, you can take it dark and go light again, just by layering. And if you're asking if I'm pressing hard, the answer is no. I'm not really pressing hard. So you can see how this skin tone here is starting to match this one a lot better in that shaded area of his finger. So basically, this grid helps me get these proportions better than just freehand, a lot quicker, and like I said, make the tools. If you can't buy them, make them, and continue on your journey and do a lot of experimentation and a lot of failure. So the only way you can get better is to have a lot of failure. I have students ask me, how do you know that? Because I ruined the drawing and this is how I fixed it. Seriously. If you want to learn how, definitely contact Studio 23. I'm pretty sure I can help you down that journey. My journey, I just keep playing. I play with my color pencils. I draw what I want, but I also caution you to take your own photographs. So photographs can be distorted, and as you can see, this stone does not look like this one, even though this is the same rock that was here in this picture. So working from real life is important, and if you take your own pictures and do your own work, you have the stuff available, and your subconscious actually does do more observation when you take your own pictures to work from them. Any questions? Because I'm about talked out, other than, I can talk for hours, but seriously, I don't have a whole lot other to do.
Well, thank you, Julie. If anyone has any questions, they can leave it in the comments, and we will jump on later and do our best to answer.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming in and taking the time to share your technique with us and give everybody a little sneak peek of what we might learn in colored pencils with Julie.
Thank you.
So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.